here today with Abena. Abena, thank you for coming in. It's good to see you.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
How's your senior year going? We haven't seen each other since English last year. I mean, I've seen you in the hallways a little bit,
Yeah,
but I wanted to catch up with you. How's everything going?
it's going really well. Senior year, I mean, it's everything that people say it is, super stressful. College process is definitely something that has been a life-changing experience, but I'd say I've been really enjoying my classes. I've been meeting a lot of new people, and it's been really fun.
You've
Yeah.
been taking some classes over at Gilman, right?
Yes, I have one class at Gilman, one at RPCS this year. I have creative writing at Gilman and Black American music at
Ooh,
RPCS.
that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I actually took African American literature with Mr. Valentine White last semester at Gilman. 100% recommend the class. It's amazing. I met like a lot of amazing peers and from the different schools, and like it was just a really great class. So
What is your creative writing class like? That sounds interesting to me. And I know that knowing you from last year, you like to write a lot, and we did a lot of personal essay writing last year. What is this creative writing class like?
yeah, so it's like my third day because we've had a lot of snow days so far this year, but it's like been really great. Miss Royston is teaching it. She is a fellow, I think, right now.
Mhm.
And she has moved cross country, so from California, I'm pretty sure. So it's been really nice to hear like from her perspective, and we've been analyzing a lot of poems. That's something we did a lot in your American history class, or not history, American English class last year. Um, and yeah, we analyze poems and we write poems. And today we had our first day sharing out our poems, so that was really
Ooh,
nice.
what was that like? That's always a little nerve-wracking at first.
Yeah, so I last year I struggled a lot with public speaking, sharing out. That was always something that I wasn't as used to, just because I was like very comfortable with my own personal work. But I through your class and African American literature last semester, I've really been able to become more confident around sharing my work. So that's really nice. So this semester with creative writing and today it was really nice. I found it a lot less nerve wracking than usual. Um, and yeah, I find it like really important to be able to like hear your voice when you have the chance to.
Yeah, I agree. Were you workshopping poems, or was the class looking at your poem, or was it just delivering what you've written?
We had like an assignment. We were looking at this poem. It's called Venus's Flytraps by I'm not gonna say the author's name right. I want to say Yusef Kuminyaka.
Hmm.
And it's a really like, in my opinion, it's a really chaotic poem. But we had to like base our own poems off of the author's writing style in Venus's Flytrap. So, for example, like he started with I am 5, so I started mine with I am 7, and it's kind of like a trip down memory lane. It was kind of like pointing out the different stages of my life. Um, so we all like kind of followed that prompt and shared out in like a circle. That's like another thing that I just love about like the English classes at. I haven't taken one, well, aside from Black American music, kind of. I haven't taken one at RPCS, but at Gilman and Bryn Mawr, I really like how we do like the circle in some type of way when we're talking and like just discussing in English in order to have that more like relatable vibe going on
Hmm.
and stuff. So yeah, we broke out into a circle, shared our poems. It was really
Well,
nice.
people say that Bryn Mawr has the Harkness table,
Yeah,
right? Do you guys
that's what
have
I was
big
thinking.
like furniture for discussions, correct?
Yes.
I say that we have Harkness tables here at Gilman, even though they're not actually the furniture. It's like you're
Yeah.
still in that shape, you know, and you're
Mhm.
focused on discussing with each other. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's good. I mean, I've been trying that with my classes a little bit. I think their arrangement does matter.
Yeah, it definitely does.
But I have 3 seniors in my senior elective on British novels this year.
Oh,
Two
really?
two Bryn Mawr students and Clayton Badley in there.
Oh,
So
really? Nice.
it's fun. It's a small group though. It's it's a totally different type of class.
Oh,
But,
really?
yeah.
What do you guys talk about in that type of class?
Well, we're reading various British novels, and I had my plan and a syllabus,
Yeah.
thinking that maybe 10 or 11 students would sign up for it. But now that there are 3, we're trying to work together and figure out what we want to do this semester. We're reading Virginia Woolf right now. We're going to read Aldous Huxley, and then this new book about an artificial intelligence, I guess, robot called Clara and the Sun.
Hmm.
So the course is sort of based on the future.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a lot about the future, which is interesting, I think.
Yeah.
But it's totally different now that there are 3 students in there. It's like we could do whatever we want. We could scrap this curriculum and try something else. But the class is British novels, so testing things out.
That's really cool. In a way, like the flexibility makes it like more fun.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's cool.
And everyone seems excited about it in this group, so they're all ready to come and talk about the reading, and
Mhm.
yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
That's good.
Yeah. What else has been keeping you busy this year, other than classes and coming back to Gilman for some classes and doing some creative writing?
Right, yeah. So last year, I was doing a lot of dancing. I've wanted to get back into dancing for a while. I stopped doing it in like middle school, 8th grade-ish, like early, like pre-COVID. And I stopped just because I don't know. I kind of felt like I was like the only one like who danced. I was like in a middle school era where I wanted to like be like my friends and I wanted to try lacrosse and
Hmm.
squash and I loved those sports, but I guess I kind of really abandoned dance and dance is something that I've been doing since I was like I want to say like 4 years old. And both my parents are dancers, so it was kind of like a thing where it was like passed down to me, I guess.
Yeah, I think I remember you saying it's a big part of your family.
Yeah, yeah. Both my parents went to college for dance. They got their MFAs at UMD, so they do it as a passion, a career. It's just like their life. And it wasn't in a way that like I was forced to follow in their footsteps because I was able to like drop it and decide to like expand and try other sports. But it was something where it just felt like when I wasn't doing it, it felt like a part of me was missing, I want to say.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I was really happy when I decided to just go back into it last year, and I performed in the Nutcracker, which was really fun. I actually got a lead, so that was really unexpected.
Is that at Bryn Mawr? Was that the?
No, sorry. This was at I dance at Morton Street. It's like this dance company outside of school. Um, my sister actually like mainly dances in it, so I just joined because of her. I was mainly doing Twigs. It's at BSA, Baltimore School for the Arts, but it goes until 8th grade. So, but Morton Street, I did the Nutcracker. It was really fun. It was my first time performing in years, so that was like definitely a new experience. Definitely nerve wracking, just like being on stage in front of a huge audience. And actually, the governor's daughter also dances there. So
Oh
like
wow.
the governor was like in our show, so that attracted even more people. So it was just like so many people, but it was really fun, and I'm really glad I did it. So yeah.
What is the since I've never danced and I didn't grow up dancing,
Yeah.
I'm wondering about like how you obviously your parents helped you get into it at first, but what that's like at a young age being serious about dance and sort of what the culture is around like being a dancer. So I know I've got a pulse on different sports on campus. Like you've got lacrosse, and I help out coaching lacrosse, and I go watch the basketball games, and you watch, different sports. But dance is something that's sort of unfamiliar to me, and I'm wondering, as a young person growing up, what that's like to be involved in dance.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Like I was saying in middle school, like I wanted to be more like my friends. Like it was in a sense that it was like middle school, but it was also in a sense where it was like throughout since kindergarten going in up until middle school, the strict like times that I would have to dedicate to dance. Like I'd have classes 5 out of, or honestly 6 out of 7 days of the week, every day but Sunday. They would be for hours every single day after school. I'd have to learn how to manage my homework, all of those things. And then performances took away like all of my like weekend time. I'd have like rehearsals all day. So like I'd miss that birthday party, that
Sup-
sleepover. So definitely it was a lot. It's a lot of sacrifice. And I think at some point, like, I think I just got really tired of it and I was like, I just can't do this anymore. But yeah, it's definitely different than your like tradition. I mean, I don't want to compare it to other sports and other
Yeah.
experiences, but like, it's definitely a huge sacrifice.
Yeah, it's super intense too
Yeah.
because it's very everything's very precise, it seems like.
Mhm.
You can't be out of position. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just wondering, it seems like it's a very intense sport because of all the details that are involved.
Yeah, I'd say attention to detail is something that I've obtained from doing dance, from ballet specifically, for so many years because ballet is very like, I think like what you're talking about, strict, like punctual almost, like every single movement has a specific like place it needs to be at a specific time. So like doing dance, it definitely affected my like everyday routines, like how I would um, attempt to like do certain tasks, certain things. And I think like not having dance honestly has definitely affected me in general because like I'm definitely like less punctual, less like organized and like as like neat in those specific ways that ballet provided me. So yeah, I think you're definitely um, hitting on like an important like part of like dance and how it affects everyday tasks and stuff like that.
Hmm. Yeah, what would you say is the best part or the most fun part of dance I guess it's a sport or an art. I mean, it's a combination really of arts
Mm,
and sports, which I think is cool.
yeah. I definitely say like the people you meet, the dance world is like it's like big, but it's very small. My mom likes to like, or every time we like, my mom is from New York, and like we visit a lot, Brooklyn specifically, and like she's really like involved in the dance community, and like whenever we go anywhere, she's always like running into people she knows. So I definitely say the people you meet because like even if you try to escape them, like you'll know them for a really, really long time. Um, there's people like I run into that I danced with like 10 years ago that I'm
Hmm.
like, wait, I think I know you from somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely like the relationships you build. And I'd say like just like being able to express yourself in a different way or like different than like the like traditional way of expressing yourself. Being able to express yourself through like movement is like
Hmm.
just a really intricate and like personal thing that can also be like turned into like something so big that can be performed to like hundreds and thousands of people. And I just think in that way it's really interesting and it's really like it's how you see it and it's how you like want to like interpret it, I guess.
Hmm. Now, growing up, are there certain building blocks that you have to achieve or go through in order to get to maybe more complex or intricate dances. So I know like ballet, like you have to start out with ballet, correct? And then
Mhm.
you sort of move up and get into some different types of dancing.
Yeah, so I'd say when you're like younger, like you do, I think they start you out with all different types of dance. You do like ballet, modern, jazz, tap, like all different types of things. And I think that's how like dancers really like see which path they want to take because there's so many different paths. So a lot of people choose ballet, but a lot of people choose like so many other things or all of them. But I definitely chose ballet. And then when you're trying to like, I guess, develop your skill, it's definitely a lot of practice, a lot of like stretching like daily, a
Mhm.
lot of um, conditioning, like the amount of like I guess pressure and like work you're putting on your feet and your
Yeah.
like different parts of your body that you're using. It's really important to like make sure you're like warming up correctly because dance injuries are so frequent and like it's so easy to like hurt a specific part of your body,
Hmm.
like so many different things. And then like as you continue to like master like these different techniques, you start something called point, and that's like everyone like knows it as like when you dance on like the boxes and stuff. So point shoes are definitely a huge milestone in a ballet dancer's life, and you get fitted, and it's like a huge like not celebration, but like it's a huge like accomplishment because it's such a hard thing to accomplish.
Right.
So yeah, I'd say that's like not the highest level, but that's like the main goal of every like ballet dancer.
So how do you get to the point, like the place where you get into point? Do your feet have to be like really? I'm thinking your feet have to be really strong to be able to hold these poses,
Yeah.
right? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you can't just like not dance like ever and then put on a pair of point shoes and just start dancing. Like you'll definitely have some injuries, like
Yeah.
some serious injuries to your feet, ankles. It's definitely like years of priming, and then
Hmm.
you take pre-point classes, which like condition like specific parts of your feet that like strengthen them so that they can hold up like your weight, the weight of your body when it's like
Yeah.
constantly on just boxes. Um, I won't say like there's a way to like avoid like your toes like getting injured and stuff. Like that's like it depends on like how frequently you're dancing and stuff, but like your toes are always like subject to like injury because they're just it's the friction between the box and the skin. So that's just something that is like a common thing among dancers, but like it's just a lot of practice
How
and a
about
lot of
ankle strength? Like you need
yeah.
ankle, all your
Yeah.
legs. I mean, need to be really strong to be able to support.
Yeah, constant um like I there's a bunch of like French terms that I want to use, like releve is one, and it's like when you're just going up and down on your feet, and like you do it for like I don't know, when I was in pre-point we did it like 60 times per set. We did like 5 sets. Like we'd do that 5 sets in a row, up, down, and like my ankles were on fire. But like you just have to keep going, and like it's definitely a lot of determination. A lot of you can't like give up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's such a mental, it seems such a mental sport too,
yeah,
because so I can only speak from doing yoga. Like I'm really into doing yoga. I think I've told
yeah,
our
yeah,
class
yeah.
before last year. And just the ability to balance sometimes, like
Hmm.
you really need to fixate your mind on the certain positions that you're in,
Yeah,
or else you'll fall over, or you'll hurt yourself, or you won't make it work. Like
yeah,
you need your
exactly.
mind fixated. Um, so all the details that we're talking about, the mental component of dance, it seems so necessary to like effective dancing.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Having like the will and like honestly, it's like what they say about college, like it's what you put into it. So like if you're not like giving dance your 100%, your focus, your willingness to learn, your being okay with like failing, with failure, and like just restarting. Like if you're not giving it all of those things, then it's not gonna like be what you want it to be. But also like recognizing that like there's no like specific way to dance. Like I feel like sometimes people try to like neatly categorize dance and like say like only this it can pass as dance, and like this is what dance looks like, this is what dancers look like. But honestly, like there are no restrictions to dance. Again, it's like what you make it. It's very personal, it's really authentic, like things like that.
So let me ask you, Abena, about your senior year. You said that it's been sort of stressful, at least in the fall, with all the
Yeah.
stuff that's happening. And I want to talk about writing and personal essay writing. And I'm wondering, like, what did you think about writing about in order to, I guess, convey yourself on these college essays? Because I know that they're such an important part of the college admissions process. What was that? I mean, what was the application process like for you, and what did you think about writing about?
Yeah, I thought, well, when I was like first, I started thinking about this. Well, Bryn Mawr encourages students to think about all of the stuff over the summer of like before your senior year, because it's bad to have it all at the end and like be late and stuff. So I was really thinking about it over the summer, and there are so many things to talk about, but I couldn't like formulate any ideas, I guess. But I have had a really strong connection with bridges over the past couple of years, and that's like been something that's honestly like been like become integral with my identity. And like on like I always am talking about bridges. Like I love it so much. So that's what I decided to focus on for my college essays. I found that I was able to like really talk about it passionately. And also like bridges is also what contributed to helping me find what I want to major in and like become my career, which is child psychology.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, so I definitely say like that's like the main thing that I wrote about on my college essays. Um, but I think it's really like it's more than just like the community service and like the volunteering. Like it was in the way that I put it in my essays. I think it was just like a thing that really changed my life in a certain way. And like just a thing that I wanted to like dedicate the rest of my life to. So yeah.
How'd you get into Bridges? Did you get into it freshman year or?
So my freshman year was like really, it was basically virtual. Like we had like these things called awesome spaces, and like it was like when we'd have like days that some groups would come in and be in person and some groups would be virtual, but I was basically virtual all year. So Bridges wasn't something that I even knew about coming straight from middle school, but I found it in my sophomore year. My mom, like I said, she's a dancer, but she's also a teacher. Like she's a dance teacher slash professor, kind of. So she works with college students, but she also works with like middle school students, high school students, and like even younger children. And like just the concept of like looking out for children, taking care of children, even as a child, was something that I just like always understood in my life, I guess, and like resonated with.
Hmm.
So when I found Bridges, and it was like for like people that don't know, it's a organization where you can volunteer to tutor kids. I want to say third to fifth grade for the after school program. And it's at Gilman, it's at Bryn Mawr, and it's at St. Paul's. But it's just really fun, and you meet all of these amazing, intelligent children who are just like so willing to learn, but yet they're just not given the opportunity to, unfortunately. So being able to like be a part of something so like monumental in their lives, such as like preparing them for like these tests that they're gonna have to take and other things like get into other schools and like continue in the steps in the path in their to their life. It's just like a really great feeling. So yeah, I found it in 10th grade. I was chosen luckily, so that was really great, and I did it junior year, and then I also did it in the summer of junior year at the Summer Institute at Gilman.
That's pretty cool. And I think it gives you a program like this gives you the sense of like how big of an impact you can have on little kid
Yeah.
you know, that you're working with, that you're involved in their life, and you're really showing them that, you know, there are these other opportunities out there for them to learn and get educated and, you know, look for different ways to have like bright futures. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, and what kind of things do you do with the kid? Like, do you do different lessons? Do you play games with them? What is sort of a afternoon in the Bridges program like?
Yeah, so usually it's like pretty structured for the most part. Like we have some time dedicated to helping them with their homework from school, or if they don't have any homework, we do like math worksheets and stuff like that. So we get a lot of like academic work done, but then the really important part to like, in my opinion, is the outdoors time, and the free time where I don't want the volunteers and the students can really like come together and bond, learn more about each other. I feel like that's just so important to the two Bridges, just because like the relationships you build with the children are just so like important to them, and like they're so they're life changing in both like the volunteer and the student's life. And like I still know students from like years ago that have like moved on to do great things, and like I see them like at like anywhere. I'm like, how are things? And it's like it's a relationship that like stays, which is like really important. But yeah, we have outdoors time, and that can be like they love kickball. We play a lot of kickball at Gilman, um, but there's like different activities. Like sometimes we'll do like jump roping. That's like something that like a lot of the kids have a hard time with jump roping, so we do a lot of like jump roping like lessons, which I thought was really fun. Um, and yeah, just like stuff like that. So
It's pretty cool that you think that you want to study child psychology.
yeah, yeah,
Um, wow, good for you. Okay, so maybe we can talk about your book recommendation that you thought of for today.
yeah, sure. So I was like thinking about like all the books that I could, and I chose The Color Purple specifically because the new I guess movie slash book interpretation came out, and I was lucky enough to see it like the day it released. It was like I want to say it was like the day after Christmas, or it was like on Christmas or something. And I saw it in New York,
Ooh.
and it was like I loved like the crowd like in the literal movie theater, because like I don't know, like New Yorkers, like great personalities. So it was a really interactive crowd. They were really,
Big theater.
yeah. And there were high points and low points in the movies. So like you could really tell like how people really resonated with it, and like just the energy. And when I remember reading the book, and like it differed from the book a lot, but like I think that it really kept and upheld the important theme. So in the book, like it follows Celie, the protagonist, and it follows like her um, issues with things like abuse with her stepfather and her husband later, and how she finds and interprets love later in the book, and how she explores her identity, how she struggles with race and just every single important aspect of identity you could think of. And I just found that like the new movie interpretation really emphasized some important aspects of the book that even the book didn't really emphasize in its own way. Um, Specifically, like in Celia's, like, I guess, romance with Shug, which is another character in the book. So yeah, it just really defined like love and through race and many other lenses. So yeah.
I think that makes a big difference too when you watch a movie and everyone, like, you're in the theater of people, like the emotions that you're describing. It's much different from just sitting at home watching a movie, you know. I think
Exactly, yeah.
there's a lasting impact of that.
Yeah, definitely. And in the theater, like, I'm not gonna like spoil anything, but the at the end, like, everyone was in tears. I'll just
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
but like it was like I don't know. I just felt like everyone, like literally, if you looked around, everyone had tissues out, like sobbing, like from people that like from children to like older adults to like seniors. Like everyone was crying, and like I just felt like it just had like such a beautiful, like relatable feeling, and it was like it was sad, but it was like nice in a way. And it gave me like a kind of conclusion that the book didn't give me, just because I was able to like experience it in person, I guess. But like it was just really nice.
Now, did you read the book in school or on your own?
So I read the book on my own, and then we read it again in school. And when I first read it on my own, my mom made me read it like I want to say in like middle school. So I feel like when you read it like so young, you're not really able to like
Hmm.
understand it in a certain way. So then we read it again high school, my sophomore year, and I was really able to understand it in a certain way, just because we were able to like analyze it as a group, and I was able to hear other people's opinions and stuff like that.
Well, Abena, thank you very much for coming in. I'm glad that your senior year is going well. Best of luck
Thank
this
you.
spring. Um, yeah, it's good to see you. Good to catch up. I'm glad things are good.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Cesare. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.